everybody, and welcome to the latest live episode of Season Sunflower Hour. I'm so pumped that you guys are tuning in and joining us for tonight. And if you are, make sure you blow up that comment section and say hey, give a shout out to our guests that are coming up, and let us know where you're tuning in from. I love seeing when we get to impact people around the world. Now, if you are new to our show, if you've never stumbled upon our show before, welcome. We're so happy to have you as part of the Sunflower Hour family. I promise you, you are going to love this and have a great time. So sit back, get your favorite snack, and enjoy tonight. And also, while you're at it, make sure you hit the subscribe and the follow and the like button so that you guys can stay up to date on all the amazing things that we have going on with both the show and ALS United Illinois, because there's so much great stuff. I just don't want you guys to miss any of it. So come on board. This is going to be so much fun. Now, I love this. You guys hear me say this all the time. I love this show so much because we get to tell beautiful stories. We get to share and spread some awareness. It's amazing. This is our opportunity to come together, to share these stories, to share the people and the moments that are making a difference in the ALS community. And it is so fun to have you a part of this. Now, we've got some really great things coming up, as always. Oh, I love it. You're getting a sneak peek. You're getting a sneak peek at what is going on.
Good job.
Look at that. I love it. We're tuning in and we're giving you guys a little crumbs of what's to come. Don't stress, you're going to see more about that later. But what we do have coming up around the corner for ALS United Illinois is some great stuff. The fall walks are approaching quicker than I can't even believe it. I can't believe the summer's almost over, but the fall walks are coming up, but there is still an opportunity for you guys to get involved. If you head over to our website, which I know that Corinne will throw that up in the comment section for all of you. If you head over there, you can find out all the information on the locations and the dates. It is not too late to sign up for a walk team if you're interested in that. If you want to join someone else's walk team, they are so open-armed and willing to let you into their team to walk with them for an amazing cause. If you don't want to walk at all, that's okay too. You guys can jump in and join and just celebrate with us. Bring the family out. There's so many great activities, events. You'll meet some incredible people. And I promise you, it is like no other. The vibe there is just so hopeful and fun and family friendly. It's a great event. So join that. And we do have a new walk that we have added to the roster in Champaign. So if you're in the Champaign area now, you have something to come out to. So check that out. The website is posted right up there, where you can find more information. And ALS Classic time is also around the corner. That will be here in a few weeks, actually. On September 9th, we are having the ALS Classic again. It is a not to miss event. I can tell you that every time I've attended or every time I've talked to someone that has, they literally come back year after year because it is such a blast. If you do still want to get involved, if you still want to join the team, that is possible. The link will be up in the comment section as well. But if you just want to come out, if you want to volunteer, we're always looking for that. If you want to join ALS United Illinois team and come and support the golfers, if you want to help at registration, raffle tickets, there's so many amazing opportunities. So check that out. Or if you guys have, a foursome and you want to join in on the fun, still possible. All the information you need is right there at that link. So make sure you save all of these so that you have them for future reference. Or if you know someone who's a golfer, you might want to pass that along to them because, hey, why not have a great day on an incredible course where literally some of the masters have played there before? It's pretty amazing. So pass it along to them, and why not golf for a killer cause? I love it. So everything you need is right up there. Now, I just want to get straight to it because we've got some really incredible guests. Now, tonight's show is especially powerful because we are talking about courage, community, and turning a personal connection to ALS into absolute action. Now, our guests are part of an incredible event that includes swimming at the ALS Chicago River Swim. Now, where swimmers take on the Chicago River to raise money and awareness for ALS. But tonight is about so much more than just swimming. It's about why they're swimming. Every person takes on this challenge with their own reasons for being there. Maybe it could be just because they love to swim, or for someone that they love, or maybe it's a personal experience with ALS. But it's simply because they believe that nobody should have to face this disease alone. Now, tonight we get to hear the stories behind all of these wonderful swimmers. We all know, if you're a part of this family, we know that ALS can take so much away from you, but it cannot take away your determination. It can't take away the love, and it certainly cannot take away the power of community coming together saying, we are going to just keep moving forward and we're not going to give up the fight. So tonight, we're talking to some incredible swimmers, an incredible co-founder, and an incredible individual who you've met before. We're going to talk about the swim, about fundraising, about the fight against ALS, and most importantly, about the people behind it all that are making a difference. So let's dive in. Definitely pun intended there. Let's dive in and hear the stories behind the Chicago River Swim. Please join me in welcoming the co-founder of A Long Swim, Deb McConnell.
There she is. Good evening. How are you, Susan? Thanks so much.
Oh my gosh, Doug, seriously. We didn't get a lot of time to chat before this, but I cannot thank you enough for coming in and joining. I, like probably many people that are watching this right now, I am ashamed to say I have never got to really dive into why you're doing what you do or heard about this. So I'm going to be learning right along with all of our viewers tonight. I'm so excited. So for many people that are hearing about this, maybe for the first time, that haven't heard of A Long Swim before, first of all, can you break down how you came up with that name? And can you tell us a little bit about what is this and how did this come to be?
Yeah, it started, I really a lifelong swimmer. I started as a competitive swimmer as a 6-year-old because I was tagging along with my older sisters who were very, really gifted swimmers. At first it was a summer league park district team, and then went through, the chairs with YMCA and all the rest. I had the very good fortune to be to swim in college at the University of Illinois. Had a wonderful experience there and so forth. Then, after college, the life kind of gets in the way, and the jobs and all those kinds of things. And somewhere along the way, I discovered open water swimming, which is real different from pool swimming. And kind of a new challenge, but a good excuse to stay training. And I'd always loved that part. So it was, so I was kind of on that track to do a lot of open water swims. And kind of on a parallel track in my family, my extended family, we started to deal with ALS. And first it was my father who was diagnosed back when one of our kids was born. And he had, we knew nothing about the disease or anything like that. And he was very reassuring to my sisters and me and our kids and so forth that the kind of ALS that he had was not the kind that ran in families, and it was just a lightning bolt and so forth, and that he figured that he had sort of 3 to 5 years. And as it turns out, he was able to survive with it for 12 years, which was a wonderful gift to have our kids really get to know him as well as they did, and so forth. We lost him in 2006. And then as luck would have it, just a few months after he passed, one of my sisters was diagnosed. And so then we knew it really was something that traveled in families. And it was really after Ellen was diagnosed that we felt like we wanted to do something. And, you feel so powerless when you get that news. And again, she was the person who I had kind of tagged along with to the pool in the first place. And so we started to kind of brainstorm ways to marry up open water swimming and support for ALS. And, as she said, one is kind of a niche sport and one is sort of a niche disease. She's the one who came up with borrowed the ALS acronym for A Long Swim. So we were kind of off to the races. So I did a handful of long ocean swims. English Channel is one that everybody's heard of, along with some others, and found that people were very gracious and generous as they helped fund the charity. And along the way, we started to host swims for other people, these bigger events. And so, of course, Lake Michigan's right here, some of the lakes out in the suburbs and so forth. And boy, we really had a lot of fun with it and so on. So along the way came the idea of the Chicago River, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Wow. I'm so sorry. That is all. There's no good words you can say in those kinds of things. That's exactly why we're here. That's why all of us are doing these things, right? Because nobody's father, nobody's sister should have to face news like that. We don't want that for any family. What was that like when I mean, seeing it firsthand, like you said, going from not knowing about this disease to all of a sudden now not only having it in your family once, but now twice.
Well, it's a shipwreck, and to watch somebody you love go through that
Yeah.
process and share their feeling of powerlessness is really disarming. My dad was a career veterinarian, and I remember seeing him, muscle around dairy cows and pick up small animals like Saint Bernards and stuff like that. He was a very powerful guy, and got to the point where he couldn't lift a fork. And Ellen, in addition to being an outstanding swimmer, took up marathon running in her 30s and 40s, and so was quite an athlete and so forth. So it's just terribly disarming and that feeling of powerlessness, and we just wanted to do something. As it turns out, one of the top ALS research centers in the world is right here in Chicago, at the Northwestern's med school, and we really just fell head over heels for one of the researchers over there, Hande Ozdinler, and we've just pushed all the chips across the table to her.
And then I love that I don't love what ALS is or what it does to anybody, but I love the action it sparks. And like you said, you guys took something awful and turned it into something so beautiful. How long has A Long Swim been around?
I swam the English Channel 15 years ago this week. So that was really we also swam before we went to England. We swam the length of Tampa Bay. But it was really 2011. So we've been at it about 15 years, and we've raised about $4 million. It's really gratifying to see how gracious people are in their donations and their support and so forth. And it went from kind of a crazy idea to something that's really, really going.
Oh my gosh. And that's so many people you've helped. $4 million is no joke. That is so many individuals you've been able to help with ALS. Did you have any idea when you started this fun, crazy idea to honor your family, to honor your sister? Did you have any idea 15 years ago that this is where it would become?
No. And in fairness, I think that's right. At that point, all we wanted to do was make it across the English Channel. So that was a big one.
Oh my gosh. And you mentioned, we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper when we get to meet some other guests tonight, but you mentioned that the difference between a pool and being out in open water is very different. Well, I'm not a swimmer. So what are some of those differences? Is it more hard? What's more challenging about open water versus obviously?
Well, yeah, it's a good question, Susan. In open water, of course, you really don't know where you're going, as opposed to a pool where you've got a black line that you follow. And the open water reintroduces all of the variables that the pool took away. So the water can be cold, and the English Channel was 60 degrees the whole way across, and that gets to be kind of a long day, and it gets dark, and you get bitten by things, and it's wavy and so forth. So it's a real different challenge. Of course, it helps to be a good pool swimmer, but it's a kind of a different skill set.
Doug, you're really selling me on this. You get bit by things. Yeah, you're just swimming along and you just get bit by things and you just keep going. That sounds fun. That sounds exactly like what I wanted to do.
There you go.
That sounds crazy. That sounds absolutely crazy.
Well, and having grown up in the Midwest, I mean, who knew that I would be allergic to jellyfish? I mean, who knew?
Oh my God. How many times? Do you know how many times were you stung by a jellyfish?
I don't know a number. I do know that one swim that we had in California, we were swimming through so many jellies that I was getting stung every 12 or 14 strokes, and that would go on for 2 miles. And then we'd have a break for a little while, and then we'd have another shoal of these jellyfish, and it makes for a long day.
Oh my gosh. So basically, you guys are superheroes, is what I'm hearing from all of this.
Hardly,
You're
hardly.
just pushing through the pain. I mean, how many in the course of your life since you started doing the open water swims? How many have you done, do you think? Do you know a number on that?
I don't. Let's see. Tampa, England, Catalina, Molokai. We do swam between Molokai and Oahu. The We did swam a loop around Manhattan Island, which is about 30 miles, and and then other swim. We came up with a new swim that nobody had done before, and it was between Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard off of Cape Cod, and that looks like that's going to turn into a real event. Just so it's stuff like that. So it's we've done a bunch of.
Amazing. So out of all of those, it's probably impossible to pick a favorite memory, but have there been some really memorable moments during these events or during these swims that come to mind right now?
I think the Hawaii swim, Molokai to Oahu, of course it's Hawaii, so it's paradise, and but because those islands are really the tippy tops of mountains. In between the islands, it gets pretty deep water and so forth. So, as you swim along and you realize, that you're in 5 or 10,000 feet of water, and I mean, it really is. It's so magical, and it happens that there were some pretty big waves on that swim and so forth. So there was a lot to contend with, but really, I mean, just a magical day.
That sounds beautiful, and you've got to see some incredible places, I guess, around the world as you're doing these. Oh, that's amazing. Now, look, you've had 15, much longer of swimming, but 15 years of being a part of this incredible organization that you have started to do all of these great things. What does it mean to you personally? I can't even imagine, but to be able to see people join forces with you, come and swim with you, that are just people that are willing to jump into the water and go through all of that you're just talking about, willing to push themselves physically to support others living with ALS. What has that meant to you over the years?
It's really gratifying. Doesn't begin to scratch the surface, and I mean, you're going to meet some people here on your podcast that fall into that very category, and to be able to share that vision, to imagine that there really is a cure out there, that we could be part of finding that cure and funding that cure, is really a motivator. And as I say, some of the folks you meet tonight are going to really fit that category. So it's pretty magical.
I can only imagine, and to see that, and for them to come together over the years to help you raise $4 million is absolutely incredible. To see the community that this pulls in and that you've created, that you've brought together to make a difference and impact here. It's absolutely amazing. Super inspiring, Doug.
You're very great.
What now? I mean it seriously, like wholeheartedly. What you are doing is making a difference to so many people. And one of those individuals we're going to get to meet tonight that benefits from the money that is being raised here. And I can tell you, if you've ever experienced this or you've seen this personally and you know what this money is doing, it is a life changer for individuals and their families that are dealing with ALS. So for anyone watching this, if you have ever shared a post, liked a post, if you have donated, every dollar helps. If you volunteered an event, if in any way, shape, or form you have helped anyone battling ALS, I can tell you from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And it is making an absolute life-changing difference to all of those. So thank you guys. Now, Doug, with your organization, how did you guys get involved with the Chicago River Swim? Tell us a little bit about that, because we're about to meet some really special individuals with there.
Right. Well, I mean, it probably would help. We stole the idea, and it was shameless. No, so what happened now, I guess 14 years ago, we heard about a swim that was hosted in the canals of Amsterdam in Netherlands. And we heard about it, of course, because of the swim, but also because they also support an ALS research charity over in Europe. And it was a bunch of guys who had a buddy that had been diagnosed. They didn't know what to do. The craziest thing they could come up with was to have this swim in the canals. And one of the fellows that was part of this group had a shirt tail relationship or some sort of a relationship with the crown princess of Netherlands. She's now the queen. Her name is Queen Maxima, and Queen Maxima is a triathlete, and they were able to talk her into swimming in the Amsterdam City Swim. So they were immediately on the map. And excuse me, we heard about it, and it was relatively easy to get in touch with the organizers of the Amsterdam City Swim, and they started to send me videos and that sort of thing. And boy, the more we looked at them, the more we thought this could be Chicago. And I think naively thought that it would be relatively easy to kind of get through the city process and so forth to host a swim in the river. It took us 13 years. So we finally, so we worked on it for 13 years before we finally hosted swimmers in the river. But I mean, as I say, we borrowed shamelessly from the Amsterdam City Swim and now from other urban swims around the world and around the country and so forth. It can be a big deal.
Wow, that's incredible. And when is that coming up? When is the Chicago River Swim?
It's about a month from now. September 20th is the swim itself. There are some other events that are happening that weekend that I think will also be able to attract some attention. But Sunday the 20th is the time.
Wow, like you said, that is coming up also just around the corner before we know it. So I want to dive in, and we are so lucky tonight to not only have you here to share the story and fill us in on what's going on and where all this came from, but we have some incredible swimmers that are going to take part in the Chicago River Swim, also for a long swim and for raising money for ALS. So let's bring them on. We're joined by Paul, Kenny, and Dave, who are going to be swimming in about a month. Crazy, you guys, crazy. Welcome. As we've said, if you were listening, you guys are superheroes. And I mean, I just got to ask right out of the gate, what is the craziest, before we even dive into training, all the good stuff, what is the craziest thing that has happened to you? Are you guys swimming through jellyfish and being bit by things while you're in the water? Is this happening?
No, Doug,
I was listening.
Talked me out of it.
Oh, no.
I was listening to Doug about the jelly stings every 14 strokes, and I thought I've only been stung a few times, and at first it was like, oh my God, what was that? It wasn't on my radar. I was in Florida, and then later I realized, oh my gosh, that was a jellyfish, and now it doesn't bother me. I felt it, and it's like, okay, that's what that was, but the first time was scary, but.
I've yet to have the pleasure. I swim at all inland lakes, so I don't know what that. We'll hold off on that for a while.
Knock on some wood, Kenny.
Get in the ocean, my friend. Get in the ocean.
No, Kenny, I don't want this for you. I hope we didn't just jinx you. Knock on all the wood around you that you find. Oh man, they're never gonna let me come talk to you guys again, because by the end of this, we started with 3 swimmers. Now we're gonna be down to like 1 swimmer because we just scared you all away. My God. Well, let's dive in deep to swimming in general. You guys are about to take on a massive swim. Where did this come from? Do you guys love swimming? Kenny, why don't you kick us off with why in the world did you decide to jump in some cold water and just start swimming?
A new challenge, I guess, more than anything. The past 3 years, I'm from Southwest Ohio, but I made the trip up to Chicago to run a marathon with the Greater Chicago ALS Association. And I was looking for a new challenge, and this popped up on social media, and I just jumped right at the chance and threw my application in, and they accepted me. And I was like, wow, I'm really looking forward to this. So yeah, now I don't have quite the experience, that Doug has. I'm sitting here with my jaw on the ground, actually. So, but I've done some small triathlons over the past decade, and it's like, yeah, let's go for it. This looks like an amazing adventure. And then of course we're advocating for ALS and some disenchanted youth that aren't swimming. So it blows my mind that young children today aren't getting swim lessons. And wow, because growing up, everyone I knew took swim lessons. It was second nature to us. So You know, this river swim. The more I'm reading about it, is just really inspiring me to just go after it. So,
What's the longest distance you've swam up to this point?
a 1.2 mile. It was during a half Ironman event. So I chose the 1 mile event that we have here this year. So that should be obtainable. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny, I am pumped. I'm proud of you for just that takes all kinds of guts to just say, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, life's
Let's
short. We all know life's short. So let's do it. Yeah.
I love this. Well, at least you know there's no jellyfish coming for you, so you're good. You're good. Don't you worry. You're good. How about you, Dave? I mean, was swimming something that you have always done? Have you always been a swimmer? Or is this kind of a new challenge for you as well?
Well, I'm a runner, and I've run a bunch of marathons and some ultra marathons, but I swim and bike and do some triathlons just to cross train so I can extend my running career. And so, when I think it was a few years ago when this Chicago River Swim first got publicized, and I just thought, oh, that would be so cool. So when the folks from I couldn't do it last year, but when I heard about it this year, I looked into it, and then Sarah and Julie from ALS United offered me an opportunity. I jumped at it.
Welcome aboard.
You're another.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, good to have you. You'll have fun. It's great. You'll have fun.
I love this. I love all the courage here. This is very inspirational. You're making me feel like I want to go out and just be like, yes, I'm running a marathon and swimming 10 miles.
Well, they describe it in their materials, but just the opportunity to be swimming and looking up when you know, on a breath and seeing the Chicago skyline.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What an adventure this is going to be. I'm really excited. Yeah.
That was one of the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Paul. Go for it.
Oh, I would say that was one of the things that really struck me in last year's swim, Chicago River Swim. I'm from Indiana, and one of the things that was really strange was I've never swum, looking at skyscrapers. It was great. It's great. Very different from the farmlands of Indiana.
Yeah.
Same here.
The other thing to remember is that the Chicago River is kind of the reason that Chicago's there in the first place. And it's, and so, well, obviously it's a huge city and so forth, but the river was the, kind of the starting place.
Yeah.
And you're
I think
right
one of the
on
big stories of this is the turnaround, the environmental miracle that was the turning around of the Chicago River from the Clean Air and Water Act in the 70s and just all the tremendous health of the river itself now and how healthy it is and all the fish species that are now swimming in Chicago River. So it's very swimmable. That's always the first question I get when I talk about the Chicago River. So oh, you're going to swim in the Chicago River, but it's great. It was just wonderful.
Same here. All the people that I'm, reaching out to for donations or whatnot. You're swimming where? Is it? Well, they've done a lot of work here. They've come a long way. Thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of questions about antibiotics, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. Never had a problem. 30 years of open water swimming, no problem.
That's because you haven't come to the Bali. You haven't come in the Bali Open yet.
Yeah. I'm going to go swim in Bali now.
Yes.
Okay.
Come here and see what happens. Yes. Yes, come here. You're all welcome. Well, I love it. So, Paul, why did you get into swimming? Is this something that you have always loved and trained in, or is this new work?
So I swam in high school, and I was always very mediocre. Wasn't a standout. And I kind of joke with folks like that's why I've still been swimming. 50 years later, I haven't quite gotten good. I'm still trying. so it's kept me going. But I swam in high school, and then in college I did mostly cycling, little 500 and track cycling and road cycling. And then after college, it was kind of an easy step right into triathlons, and I did about 25 years of triathlons from sprint to Ironman. And so a few years ago, I had some significant injury and some surgery, my back, and so I can't do triathlons anymore. I can't even bicycle. So I'm just only swimming. And so when I saw the Chicago River swim, I was like, I'm in. I thought I was in. I applied and everything, and they did finally accept me. So I was so excited, and yeah. So I did last year's swim, and it was great. It was everything I expected to be, and more. And so I was fortunate to be the top fundraiser last year, and I thought this year I want to do something more up my game, and I presented an idea to Doug, and he liked it, and we're going to do that this year. So.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Before we get to that, because that's a really special. We're going to unveil that on this show in case anyone is not aware of what's happening here. But I want to ask you guys about the training for this, because I cannot even imagine. I get to talk to a lot of runners for our team ALS and hear about what it's like to train for that. And a lot of them actually say it's very magical, kind of cathartic moments for them when they're out training for the run, especially if they're running for someone that they have lost to ALS. It's kind of the coping way to just run and feel like they're out there with that person. What is it like for you guys training? What training goes into doing these types of swims? Anybody?
Well, as opposed to my others, I've never been a competitive swimmer. You know, that's not my background. So I quite frankly, I don't like chlorine. I don't like being in swimming pools. Put me in a lake anytime. So I have to drive 40 minutes 3 times a week to go out and get my open water swims in. And fortunately, our reservoirs here have been clean in the past. It's not uncommon for us to get big algae blooms, and it's not safe to swim. But we've had a good season this year. So yeah, it's just going out and putting in up and down the shoreline and putting in as much time as I can. Boy, I'd love to take lessons from these guys because I could sure use some refinements.
I'm with Kenny. I only swim in a pool when there's snow on the ground. Otherwise I would be open water the whole time. I mean, it's really different. Like Doug was alluding to, it's just a different beast from pool swimming to open water swimming. You know, it's kind of like running on a track versus running out on the open road. Mm-hmm. I just like getting out on the open road, and open water swimming feels like that. I mean, it just feels like I'm out on a long run with my arms instead of my legs. So
I was on a swim. I went out training swim just this morning at our local reservoir, and this couple just kind of stared at me in disbelief, like, "What are you actually doing here?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to swim to the other end and back." And they shook my head. They did shake their head, like, "You're doing what?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'll be back in about 40 minutes. It's all right." They sat in disbelief, going, "I'm going to sit here and watch this. I don't believe you." Okay.
Yeah.
I have boats swimming by me.
You over here racing boats, Paul? What are you doing?
I have property on a lake that's kind of a long, winding lake. It's about a mile and a half in one direction. So, and it's a no wake zone, but there's motorboats coming by, and people say, "Oh, doesn't that bother you? Are you afraid of the motorboats?" Like, no, I love it because it stirs up the cold water. You know, when you're on a long swim, you love the water to be cold. And frankly, sometimes it's too warm to swim in that. The water's too warm, so I have to go to Lake Michigan where the water's cooler. But I prefer a little more calm lake that I have. So, yeah.
Dave, what are you doing over here? How are you preparing for this?
Mostly in the pool. My wife and I walk down the street. We're access to a pool, but we don't live too far from Lake Michigan. So I was down there today getting some strokes in. So I'll definitely be ready. I'm in for the 2 mile. I asked for a mile, 1 mile bib, and they sent me a 2 mile bib. So there I go.
I have to swim 2 miles. That's right.
But you know,
2 mile is more fun. You know, you put in all this training, you might as well be out there a while. Enjoy it longer.
I have a feeling I'm going to be the last one out of the pool or out of the river.
You get your money's worth. You get your money's worth.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Your money's
Doug,
worth.
what are you doing? What are you going for? Are you going for a mile, 2 miles?
I'm running the event, so I won't be able to swim that day. But my regular training, I swim about 8 or 9 miles a week is all. And when I'm training for a bigger swim, you know, it could be twice that. So it's but I you know what these guys have said is the magic of being outdoors and in a lake is just so different, and you know, and at first it's a little unnerving because it's not like the pool, but then as you get accustomed to it, it's, I mean, there's, you know, you use words like zen and just feeling like you're part of the environment and so forth. I mean, it's pretty magical.
What
Can
have
be
you
very
guys,
meditative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah? What have you learned about yourselves through this whole process? Training, swimming for great causes. What have you learned about yourselves?
You can keep going with
Yeah.
adversity. I mean, swimming, open water swimming, a lot of times can be adversity training, you know, training to become tougher, grit, you know, there are bad swimming days, you know, everything goes wrong. You're getting caught up in seaweed, you know, your goggles are messed up, you're headbutting dead fish in the water, you know, and you just feel rotten. I don't feel like swimming. And those are the best swims, because when you're done with that, you say, okay, great. Now this, no big deal, this race, I can do it. You know, if I got through that swim that I just hated, I can make it. And that transfers into life, I think, a lot as well. Adversity training. That's what it's done for me.
For me, just being a long distance runner, you know, it's very similar. You just have a feeling that you just keep going, you know, and I've just done a couple of miles several times, and I hadn't done that before I started training for this. And so it's very similar to, you know, training for your first marathon and or an ultra marathon or something like that, and you hit something new you've never done before. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can do that. Then you hear wonderful stories like Doug, who's done just incredible feats, and you know, there's more to do. You know.
You know,
I
it's
think
funny too. There's an element of you know, obviously you're alone in your thoughts, and trying to kind of manage your mind is can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes. And the years ago, I had a bad song in my head. You know how that you get out there and you now look at him shaking his head. Kenny knows exactly what I'm saying. And I had a bad song in my head, and I thought, what can I do to sort of crowd out the, you know, wheels on the bus? And
Oh no,
no,
not the wheels on the bus.
So I thought, well, maybe if I count my strokes, then the song will go away. And it became sort of a habit. And I think it became kind of almost like a mantra. And now I can't swim a loop of Lake Zurich and not count my strokes. And it's a good way to measure time and distance and so forth. But but I also know how many strokes it takes to get across the English Channel, or how many. It's kind of a silly habit, but I think it works like a mantra, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, Season, I think that what it's done for us as swimmers, I know for myself with the Chicago River Swim specifically, that, you know, we can use it more for just ourselves. It's bigger. What we can do, we can make it bigger than ourselves. We can make it about some other cause, some other person, some other cause, some other hope. And I think that's what the Chicago River Swim is more, because we can go out and do, you know, this or that triathlon or whatever, and have a medal. And but to do something for something greater than yourself just makes the experience so much more rich and meaningful.
Yeah. And speaking of that, Paul, that is beautiful, because talking about doing something bigger than yourself, greater than yourself, what all three of you are doing, four of you are doing, actually, what all of you are doing, why we are here today is because you are raising money and you are helping those battling ALS. And Paul, you are taking your training a step further. You're not just swimming for yourself. You've got a +1. Tell me about that real quick, because we're about to meet this incredible man.
Yeah. He is an incredible man, and it's about him. That I got the idea. I was actually swimming when the idea came to me. I wanted to do something bigger, and I thought, we've got the race, and it's for an awesome cause, raising money for ALS research, and it's a great swim. We're doing our race. We're sending a big check to an ALS research clinic. I thought, maybe one thing that's missing is actually who we're doing this for, and that is folks with ALS, people with ALS, their families, their support groups. And I thought, why can't we bring that closer, make that a more intimate connection with the race itself? And I thought, how could I do that but to do the race and pull behind me a man that has ALS, to actually bring them to the race, make them part of this great experience. So I got the idea. I pitched it to Doug. He was very gracious, got excited about the idea, and he said, "Hey, let me go find this person through an ALS support group." And so he contacted ALS United, contacted them, and they said, "Oh, we got the great guy for that. We got just the person." They come up with my now friend, Jeff Burkle. I did not know Jeff. Now I know him. We've gotten together a few times. I consider him just absolute inspiration to me, and not just to me, but to others around him, particularly with his diagnosis of ALS. He's chosen to make it about more than him. He's spending his time encouraging, mentoring, coaching, being that friend to people who are just recently diagnosed. So what a character, what a person. And so we're going to have a great time. We've gotten together and swum in the lake near my house, and everything's a go, but I'm going to be pulling him in a raft for the 2-mile swim.
Wow.
So.
And he is one of the most brightest lights I've ever met. He's an incredible man, and I want to share that with all of you. So let's bring Jeff Burkle tonight. You guys are going to get to see him and meet him as well. So Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
There he is.
Good to see you again, Susan. My voice is a little weaker and I'm talking a little slower, but I still have the same drive to make lemonade out of lemons, So that's what you all said. And Doug, you have a personal connection with your family, and it is a train wreck, but it's your attitude, how you react, and look at what you've done. You've formed a long swim, raised $4 million, and it's turning a bad situation into something worthwhile and good. So I'm very grateful for all of you here on the screen, and that goes for you, Susan, because you're doing your part to get the awareness out, so drive people to action. So thank you very much. I just feel so honored and blessed that ALS United gave me the opportunity to do this with these guys. I'm really looking forward to it.
Jeff, I just love you so much. I miss you, and it brought all these amazing people together. I am so happy. I think we formed you guys got like a new training group going on here. You guys can have your little training buddies. But Jeff, for those that maybe didn't catch you on our show, you're a superstar here. They didn't get to hear your story before. So for those that don't know it, can you tell us a little bit about your journey with ALS?
Yeah, well, at first I thought I was just getting old. I turned 60, and that's when my first symptoms showed up. And now I'm 65, so I guess I've been living with ALS for 5 years now. Eventually I thought, wait, I'm the marathon runner, I'm the super fit guy, and my buddies are more active and more physically capable. So that drove me to go to the doctors. And for those that know about ALS, it takes a while to get diagnosed. 14 months for diagnosis. So now it's, I don't know, I got diagnosed when I was 63, and it's like Doug said earlier when we were chatting, it's like a train wreck when you get the diagnosis. And, I try to stay positive, and most days I am, but when you get that message for the first time, it was 3 days of tears and feeling bad. And mostly, though, I would say I felt bad because I knew the impact that was going to be on my family. And, being a dad, you don't want to do anything to make your kids sad. So, but what I can do is show them how to react to that situation, be strong, do good, and leave a bit of a legacy that ALS didn't define me, but it changed me into a better person, frankly, because I wanted to do outreach and give and help and figure out, how to do these things that can help make a difference. And it gives you focus, and you don't have time really to wallow in your misery, So I don't like that, and I don't want to be that way. So doing a thing like a long swim with Paul and a kayak, oh my God, you guys were talking about it's weird to be swimming looking at skyscrapers. And I had already thought I'm going to enjoy the view, this is going to be incredible. So some of the things that we've done on my ALS journey with my family is my boys took up running like me. I've run 10 marathons, and my favorite race though is running across the Grand Canyon. We did it in about 6 hours, north rim to south rim. And it's a great way to see the Grand Canyon and have an adventure with your boys. But with ALS, well, I'll just back up real quick. I'm watching the time. My boys qualified for Boston in 2023. Now, I had ALS then, but I didn't know it. And I go to the race because I had run it in 2005. So what happened? I get all excited. Boys, we got to come back and run it as a family. I'm going to requalify as an old guy. Well, 6 months or 9 months later, I get diagnosed with ALS. And my first Father's Day after diagnosis, the boys say to me, "Dad, we got a Father's Day present for you." I said, "What's that?" And they said, "We're going to qualify for Boston again, and we're going to take you with us." And I said, "How are you going to do that?" Well, they told me about a duo category. And I tell you what's really neat. We did qualify. We had to qualify for Boston, Nebraska State Fair Marathon. And then we go to Boston and we're the wheelchair category. Well, guess what? it was like the 25th anniversary of the wheelchair category. And I got to meet the guy that's made it all possible for us people in wheelchairs. I got to shake his hand. We went to some big fancy dinner, the night before, and it was incredible. So, and then I get hooked because I tell my boys, that's the easiest marathon I ever finished. I want to keep doing it.
I can do that again.
Yeah. So we did Chicago that fall with Sarah and ALS United. And then Julie, who's the CEO of ALS United Illinois, she says, Jeff, we can get you a bib for Rome. So we did Rome in March, or I think end of February. That's another story. But and I'm going to do the half marathon in Minneapolis because my boys can both push me in that one. So they're fast marathoners. They qualified for Boston. And I said, since you both can trade off pushing me, I'm expecting you to push me to a new personal best. So we'll see. Anyway, we've done some other local races like a 4-miler here in Peoria where I live. And this year it was so special because we got permission. I'm in this duo racing push here, but we got permission from the race organizer who we know quite well, Adam White. We said I wore a little carrier and I carried my 7 or 8 month old grandson, and his dad pushed me. And Paul was there. He came down for it. So he got to share that moment. That was incredible. That have to be one of my favorite races, if not my favorite. And he was such a good boy. He never fussed. He smiled. He was happy looking around. So
he had an awesome smile.
Out.
It was a great photo of him with a smile.
Season, that's my kind of ALS journey, and it continuing here in September with a long swim in the Chicago River with Paul and the others. I'm so looking forward to it.
Is this your first? Yeah, is this your first time, Jeff, doing the swim?
Yeah,
jumping in a kayak?
I always had a thought I could be good at triathlons because I was really good at marathons and I like biking and I have strong legs, or I did. But I went to the pool to try to swim lap, and I went down and back and I was wasted. And I thought, if I'm going to ever be a triathlete, I got to get coaching because the water was splashing out everywhere, wasting it. Dave's laughing, he knows. Yeah. And then I watched the video of Paul when he towed me in a trial run in the kayak, and there's no splashing. It's all power that goes into motion. And I swear, Paul, I think you were pulling me so fast in the practice run that you were making a wake with a kayak.
You're going to have fun in the swim then. You're going to have fun. It'll be great. You'll have swimmers all around you, and you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see I think we have some video. I think we gave you a quick little sneak peek earlier. I think we have some video. What is this? Is this of a practice run? Is this? Let's see what we've got going on here.
Your training swim. There you go.
Oh,
look at him. Smooth, no wasted motion. Look at me.
Good job, guys.
Oh my gosh.
That's Jeff's wife, Carla, in the background. She's wonderful.
She was cheering us on.
Yeah, we did the ice bucket challenge.
Gosh. So you are doing this, Paul, for 2 miles? Is this 2 miles? That's what's happening? Oh my gosh. Well, now you have some friends, so Kenny and Dave can tap in.
Yeah.
Start to get tired. They got your back, I think.
They said they wanted to draft, but I don't know. I'm not gonna be going,
Oh
I'm not gonna
my.
be going that fast. I'm not gonna be going that fast. They'll pass me
Hey,
up.
hey, Paul, you better give me a stick to beat them off the kayak in
Yeah,
case they start freeloading.
Well, I was going to say, I'll tell you,
You're gonna have I thought you were gonna have a whip to make me go faster. Like,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
whistle,
ever do
something.
that. No.
I'll tell you I'm drafting, but I actually have my hand on the back of the kayak dragging.
Yeah,
it.
that's what
oh
you
yeah, I
say.
didn't think about that. Doug, you're gonna have to watch out for that. People
Yeah,
grabbing
we'll have to.
getting a little toe.
Yeah, Doug's got this. Doug is going to be out there with binoculars, making sure that everybody is.
I'm
And
looking
you're
at
going to
that
have to
video,
fight off
Paul.
Jeffries.
Looking at the video, Paul, it looks like you could handle a couple more of us. Come on.
I've had two people in that. I have to do some practice swims with that. I had my sister and her granddaughter in the other day pulling them. So yeah. So it's been fun.
Oh my gosh.
I pulled some kids through some triathlons, but never a full grown. Now I'm glad Jeff's not a really big guy.
I checked my weight today, Paul.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
159, so you'll be
Oh,
okay.
good. I'll be
Yeah,
fine. I'll be fine.
Tinkerbell.
yeah.
I'm just under 159. So we have so much in common.
There you go.
We're about the same age, and we weigh the same and similar backgrounds and running.
You swim
athletics.
like a fish, and I don't know what I swim like, but it's well. I
You've seen
can't
me
swim
running lately.
now.
You've
Yeah.
seen me running lately, and my running looks like I'm swimming. So
Yeah,
it's not very good.
But you guys, what do you think once you make it across? What do they have in these? Is there like a little finish line like in a marathon? Once you make it to the end of this beautiful race, what do you think the first thing all of you are going to be thinking of?
I'll let the two guys who haven't done the race yet. I'll let them go.
I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but most likely, any of the events. My background is I lost my mom in 2012 to ALS, so that's my first thought, and then my thoughts just go on to everyone that I've met who has been diagnosed, and there's way too many of them, unfortunately, and that's typically where my thoughts go. Once I'm through the event, once I don't have to worry about focus, that's kind of where I drift off to. So
Yeah, I lost my buddy Kurt in 2021. He was diagnosed in 2015, and he and I used to run marathons together back in the 90s. And so I thought running a marathon, raising money would be a great way to honor him. And he was actually the one who, I always thought triathlons were something other people did, not me. But he told me I could do it, and sure enough, he was right. And so I've done a few, but so have this opportunity to swim and raise money for a cure is a great opportunity. So that's what I told people in my fundraising. I'm doing this for my buddy Kurt.
Do you guys feel closer to those that you lost with ALS? Do you feel them a little bit stronger when you're in the water, when you're doing this for them?
Definitely when I'm running. I never feel strong when I'm swimming. But
When I see-
it definitely helps when you have a purpose.
when I see the logo, I'm reminded of what's going on, and that changes my focus, my whole outlook on everything that I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing is nothing at that point. I mean, I can do this because I don't have to do this. And that's what changes me. And it's like, yeah, I got it. Let's just go get this done.
Yeah. I have to say now, training, I think about Jeff a lot. I think about his inspiration, and and the reason I'm doing this. And I think about the race. I think about my gosh, what Doug has accomplished through all this, is just amazing. Last year at the finish, I just finished. I was tired. I the whole 2 miles I was back and forth with this guy, back and forth, exchanging leads with this guy, and I ended up beating him by 4 seconds with like everything I had at the end. But we passed through a big chute, and we've got chip timers just like a runner. We've got chip timers, and so that's records our finish when we go through this like little square chute. And so Jeff and I are going to go through that chute, and I'm going to give him a big hug and try not to tip him over and pull him in the water.
Don't do
He's
that.
got a life preserver. He's got a life preserver on.
I can't
Don't-
tread water
don't worry, buddy.
anymore, Paul.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll give you a hug. I won't pull you in.
Yeah.
But that'll be a great finish. But I think it'll be great before the finish. Just feeling the energy of the crowd, and hopefully folks, families, people with ALS families and their sport group will be there cheering. That'll be a big thrill for me to see. Yep.
Absolutely. I hate that you were all touched by ALS. I really do. And I don't want that for anybody. But I think what's come out of this is something so incredibly beautiful. And it brought all of you together, and I know that like Paul, Kenny, and Dave, you guys hadn't all met each other before. Now that's even more friends. And Paul, you got connected to Jeff. I mean, you're just meeting and being surrounded by the most incredible people. And what all of you are doing is making such an impact. So seriously, I cannot say it enough to all of you. Thank you so much for what you have done and what you continue to do. It is not easy to jump in that freezing cold water, fight off the jellyfish and the dead fish and all of the crazy things you guys are doing. But my gosh, it is amazing. So thank you for doing all of that in the name of ALS, and for everyone here, for all of these amazing individuals that you guys have lost to that battle. We're sending so much love to them. I know they're looking down, and they're there with you guys every single stroke as you get through it. And Jeffrey, I am so pumped, man, to see you guys get through to get to the end of this and just get to hear all about the journey.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of all of you. Seriously, you guys are absolutely incredible. Is there anything that any of you want to say, or just say to anyone who might be watching this? Any last thoughts from anybody?
Well, I would
It's
just
not too
say,
late to donate.
For those of you with ALS, you can still have a good life. It's your choice. You know, it's a bit of an effort to go out and do something like this, but the memories you make and the experience you have, it's so worth it. And you're doing something that's fun for a good cause. So it's a win-win, you know. So I would say for people with ALS, don't be discouraged. Fight as hard as you can and still enjoy life.
You're an inspiration, Jeff.
I love that, Jeffrey. I really do. Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you, Season, for what you do here, and for inviting us, and for all the support that you garner through this podcast. Appreciate it.
You guys are very sweet. I have the easy job. I don't do anything here. I just get to sit and chat with amazing, beautiful people and share your stories. You guys are doing all the hard work. And Jeff, it looks like your sister's tuning
That's
in.
my sister, Laura. She's my middle sister. I have one older and one younger than her. Yeah, thanks, sis. That's a nice comment.
Yeah, she's thanking you guys for bringing him on this journey, and he's so, so grateful. They will be there cheering you on. And you made a really beautiful point, Paul, that I'm sure we can put the link up in the comment section. It's not too late to donate. All of these gentlemen here are raising money for those battling ALS, for research, for helping them, for in every way possible that we can. So if you want to donate, please still do. I think Corinne can put the link up in the comment section on how to do that, or you can always reach out and check our website. I'm sure we have more info there as well. Or you know, we always give our emails out, so you can always contact Corinne and I. It's just our names at alsunitedillinois.org. We'll get you all the info, but please consider, if you're able to donate to any of these guys' amazing race cause. And if you are around, if you're in the area and you want to come visit Chicago, please come out and cheer them on. They would appreciate it so much. You can see Jeffrey, you'll be out there waving at people. You'll be able to see him in the kayak.
I'm gonna hopefully bring my son's GoPro. He's got a waterproof GoPro, so I hope to capture some incredible video.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Doug, I'll share it with you if you want to use it for promo in the future.
You're the man. You're the man.
I love that, guys. If you want to find out how you can donate, participate, or come out, go to ChicagoRiverSwim.org. Like I said, it is not too late. We still have a month left. How are you gentlemen doing on your fundraising goals? Are we getting close?
Probably 80%, and I'll push it over with it. I got a final push coming up the next 2 weeks, so yeah.
Yeah, I have some very generous friends and family, so I've gone over my goal, and so I keep bumping it up a little bit.
Yeah. And Paul is our medalist, so.
I'm about 75% to my goal. I want to try to make it to 15,000 if I can. And so just went over the 10,000 mark. So anybody listening, go ahead.
Yeah.
Donate.
Yes.
Up till race day.
Oh, beautiful. Up to race day, guys. Help these guys hit their goals, surpass their goals, because every bit of that money is going to those with ALS. So jump in, get in the fight. You guys, like I said, if you're in Chicago, come out and visit. I wish that I was there. I would be there in a second. I want to see you guys all out there swimming, trying to go through, see if I could pick you out in the crowd. So I can't wait to hear how this goes. And Kenny and Dave, I'm very excited for you to get to experience this for the first time.
Yes.
And just get to be a part of this. This is going to be such an amazing adventure. So all of you guys are absolute superstars. All of you are inspiring. So my hat's off to all of you for this incredible thing. Thank you for taking this on. And thank you for joining us tonight. I can't wait to hear. I want to hear. We'll have to have you guys come back again, and we'll have to do a post
Post-race.
swim
Yeah.
check in and hear how your first experience, Jeffrey, getting pulled. Because I think you might get hooked. I think you found your new thing. You'll be doing marathons and you'll be doing swim races. You'll be doing all the things.
You guys are going to love it. You guys are really, seriously, this is going to be a great experience and memorable for the rest of your life. It's really a spectacular event.
And thank you, Season, for highlighting this for us. We're so
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. No, anytime, guys. I will be bugging you to come back again. So you guys are absolutely a fantastic group. Good luck, everybody. I know you guys have a month left, but good luck in training. Good luck on the swim. And Doug, thank you. Thank you for starting all of this and bringing us here.
100%.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Is that getting you inspired? Is anyone else out there watching this thinking that they can go and run a marathon right now, or they can go jump in and swim 2 miles in the Chicago River? Because I know I can't, but those guys got me so amped up and so pumped up to want to try. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. This was such a killer group. If you do want to donate, make sure you save that link so that you can go support those guys while they're jumping in that freezing cold weather and swimming for a cause. What a cool group. Thank you guys for sticking with us. I will see you again next month for the next live episode of Season Sunflower Hour. But until then, everybody, let's just be super pumped and excited that it's almost the end of summer. Chicago Swim is coming up. And until next time, guys, be bright and shine your light.